Car companies don't get any more successful than Toyota, and they got that way by paying attention to their customers' needs. In the case of the new RAV4, they made it larger to accommodate growing families. While the new RAV4 is larger than the old one, it won't exactly be mistaken for a full-size gas hog. Now it's more mid-size than anything else. Not as large as the brand's Highlander model, but not that far off either. The new RAV4 doesn't look all that much different than the old RAV4. The only real noticeable difference is the shape of the taillight lens and the back quarter of the car. What I do like about the RAV4 is all the interior space for cargo. Not only space on top, but underneath here we've got a nice nook for valuables to keep them safe or to keep groceries from flying around the back end. Also, you can take this out, spin it around, and put it inside upside down here, and it now becomes a surface that won't easily get damaged. Now moving over here, Toyota's included a nice latch to open up the seat, and it'll push the seat forward, opening up more room for the 60-40 split seat. Good news for growing families, as the new RAV can now be had with a very tight third row. One of the things I don't like about the RAV4 is also inherent in other SUVs that hail from Japan, and that is that they hinge the doors on the wrong side for North America, which means that when you open up the door, it blocks the sidewalk, and it also forces you to walk around and possibly get into the lane of traffic. It comes standard with all the comfort amenities too, but on that note, Toyota hasn't set the new RAV up as a value leader. There's others in this category that are more upscale, but Toyota's gone for a sportier feel, and I think they pulled off the look pretty well. I like the aluminum trim. They've done a nice job of that. It's not real aluminum, but it looks good. There's no slop in any of the buttons. Everything's nice and tight, and everything's put together in a kind of an organic fashion. It looks really nice. One of the unique characteristics in the RAV4 are these circular HVAC controls. They're large buttons, easy to press with gloves on during winter. They're pictographs, easy to understand. Even if English is your second language, it's easier to figure out what they're saying. It's a simple car to live with. There are a number of rival crossovers available for thousands less, that offer the same level of creature comforts, and then there are even some that offer more space and more refinement, still for less than the RAV4's base price. But then there's always a price to buying into the Toyota family, a pretty revered name when it comes to long-term reliability and overall quality. The 2.4-liter four-cylinder now makes 166 horsepower, which isn't as much as some vehicles in this class, but it's enough to light it up a little bit when you need a little bit of extra power. I should also mention that 4 cylinders isn't enough. The RAV comes also with an incredibly powerful V6, probably the most powerful in its class at 269 horsepower. I wouldn't go so far to say that the RAV4 is smooth on rough surfaces, but on roads like this it's pretty nice to drive, and the longer wheelbase from this newer generation really makes a big difference. It's also excellent around curves. I was really surprised when I first stepped into it at how well it handles the corners, and especially for such a tall, narrow vehicle. The competition in the compact to midsize category is fierce. Almost every car maker has something to offer, so it's best you shop around. This is a well-built SUV, and when you factor in Toyota's strong resale values, it's probably a smart choice. After all, sometimes you've got to pay a little bit more in the beginning to reap the benefits in the end. This is Trevor Hofmann signing off for Driver's Seat.